My driving force is the belief that I am in a good place where I can give the best, simply by being myself. Every voice matters, every story resonates.
Margareta, I'm very pleased to be here with you today. With this conversation, I'd like to explore your journey as a physician and a researcher and understand what drives your commitment to patients and science. You are a rheumatologist and you decided to specialize in inflammatory myopathies, which are rare and complex diseases. Can you tell me a little bit how did you decide this path? Was there a key moment?
Yes, thank you very much, Guillaume, for inviting me. I started my journey in inflammatory myopathies when I was in Italy in rheumatology, and I started seeing patients with inflammatory myopathies, and I was struck by their disability in everyday life. But at the same time, I understood that if we give to these patients a proper treatment, they can improve. At the same time, I realized that many patients never fully recovered their muscle strength and physical performance. So I realized that there is a room to improve and to advance the knowledge of these diseases and to do something for them.
So from there, you left Italy to continue this work in France, if I
Yeah.
understood well.
Yes.
What motivated this choice?
I moved to France because of the attention of French institutions in muscle diseases, in myopathies. And what about Strasbourg? At that time, I was really impressed by a work published in France and particularly in this team in Strasbourg about the role of mitochondria in the pathophysiology of dermatomyositis. It was a very original and well conducted study. Then I met Alain Meyer, my future mentor and colleague, and this meeting was truly decisive for my career and my life.
During your explanation, you mentioned mitochondria.
Yes.
Could you explain to me what are mitochondria, like if I were a kid?
In the cell in our body, there are mitochondria. Why? Because the energy of cells is produced in the mitochondria. My colleague discovered that mitochondria are impaired in muscle of patients with a subtype of inflammatory myopathy that is called dermatomyositis.
If a cell was a car, mitochondria are a little bit like the engine
Yes,
or the motor of the car.
Yes, exactly. So if mitochondria are dysfunctional, the cells are not able to be alive.
So we talked a little bit about your research work, but you're not only a researcher, you're also a doctor. How do these two roles, so doctor and researcher, influence each other in your daily work?
To do both these kind of work as clinicians and a researcher, I need to work a lot. It's true, but I never work alone, and I think that's the key to put together these two roles as clinicians and researcher. It's difficult, but at the same time important to do these activities together because science bring scientific rigor into clinical practice, and clinical practice put all patient-driven questions into the lab. So these two worlds are constantly in contact, and they enrich each other.
I know that you often highlight the importance of working closely with patients. Could you explain a little bit how this collaboration happen in practice?
I work with patients firstly in myositis associations to never forget their perspective, and to put our scientific questions into reality of patient daily life.
Okay, so we can say that somehow the lived experience of a patient is really guiding some of your research decision.
Yes, I think we have a lot of scientific questions and a lot of projects, but this close contact with patients is important to establish the priorities of research.
We talked a little bit about research, about the duality of your role, and now I would like to talk a little bit about the hospital. So which aspects of hospital medicine do you think that the general public often misunderstands or perhaps does not see?
Yes, I often have to explain patients that each patient is difficult. Each consultation is difficult. There are some complications that can arise during consultation, and some consultation can need more time than as planned. So we need to make sometimes important decisions on patient life, on patient treatment in a limited time. In my opinion, it's the more difficult aspect of the clinical practice at the hospital.
It makes sense because we know when we discuss among patients that even if we are labeled patients is not our main, I would say, asset, because with the anxiety, with waiting in a room and so on for diagnosis, for new medication, it can be really challenging. So I know that sometimes patients should be a little bit more patient towards the healthcare professionals. So I completely understand your point of view. You shared with me some time ago that having this kind of conversation in front of a video camera is not an easy exercise for you, yet you agreed to do so. So can I ask you what motivated you to do this conversation after all?
Yes, it's a challenge to me, sure, but I'm used to manage with the challenges every day. And mainly, I think that if this portrait can help or inspire someone else, I think it's a good plan, it's a good idea to step outside my comfort zone.
After years of caring about patients and doing research, what did you learn about human resilience as a person and not only as a doctor?
I think that resilience needs to be trained, and it's a daily training. As for physical exercise, more we are trained, better we perform. But it doesn't mean that everything will be easy and without pain. But I think that if we are resilient, every day we can manage.
It's a very interesting take on resilience, and I have to admit, it's probably the first time that I'm hearing someone mentioning this aspect of training in resilience. I like it.
Thank you.
So I think that this leads me to my last question, and probably the most tricky one.
Okay.
If you had to summarize in one sentence, and one sentence only, your philosophy of work and life, what would it be?
Okay. So my driving force is the belief that I am in a place where I can give the best simply by being myself.
Thank you very much, Margareta, for this conversation. Thank you for sharing your story and your perspective so openly. And I think that your story really proved that science, first of all, is really a human adventure. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this opportunity.